Listen to the headline news weekdays at 12 and 2 p.m. only on Boom Radio NG.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Dolupo, and I bid you a very, very warm welcome to the bar today. Today promises to be very interesting. I was going to be talking about quite a number of things. In my books, there are quite a number of things from the federal government, a few stories from the states. Lagos State is in the news a lot today. The courts also, and maybe a few ultimatums here and there. River State is a lot in the news today, so we're going to be talking about quite a number of things. And if time permits us, it is Friday. There's a bit of music, not so much, but there's music today that maybe we might be able to review, and maybe sports stories. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. Like I said, my name is Dolupo, and with me in the studio today is Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Boom Bar. Thank God it's Friday.
Okay, so we're going straight into today's gist. Like I said, there are quite a number of things. First things first. Let's just put out some very interesting news. The federal government is set to they're cutting domestic base price of gas, and so it looks like electricity generating companies are set to buy gas at a cheaper rate, which might maybe trickle down to the amount of money they're selling power to discos, that's the distribution companies, which means that there might be cheaper rates. Maybe I'm guessing cheaper rates, maybe slightly, might be. But if I'm correct, maybe that probably would only affect Band A people.
We can't tell. We can't tell because the thing is, based on the information that's available, bands below Band A are subsidized.
Are subsidized already. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
if you now bring down or subsidize Band A or reduce Band A based on cost of production, that basically would mean what? What would the price be? Because if it's as close as the Band B is of this world, you understand.
Okay,
then
I don't know the numbers, but to be honest, I'm not sure that it's going to drop as much as 60 something now. In fact, I won't be surprised if maybe there's maybe a 10 naira somewhere, 5 naira, 10 naira drop. I don't know the numbers yet, but like I said, I don't think it's going to be that astronomical that maybe from 209 naira it will go to like 60 something or something naira. I don't think so. Just my opinion, but I think it's something that is worth looking into and worth following so that we can have exact figures. Maybe in the next couple of weeks we see what that means for the Gencos.
Yeah, again, so since we don't have the exact figures, that's why I was saying that if you're going to reduce the price, there most likely not be as close as it is to Band B's, C, D, and J, and the rest, if they exist. So what that means is that whatever price tariff or regime that they're going to come up with, it still won't be as the subsidized ones. That means that some people will still be subsidized. But what it also means is that government subsidy on the lower bands of power would not be as high. That government will also be making savings.
Yeah, they will be making. That's true. That's another angle too. Actually, that's actually very correct. They will also be making a few savings on that.
But this is a welcome development. These are the things that we need, because if you look at the cost of production, you look at your income and what should be profit for the country, and you take part of that profit and you plow it back, not as subsidy, but as rebates and stuff. I think it makes more sense.
Yeah, that way everybody, not everybody. Let's just actually, now you think about it, everybody actually would benefit from those kind of things. But anyway, we definitely will follow this one. I'm actually particularly interested in this particular conversation, so definitely will follow it, and then we'll see what comes out of it in the next couple of weeks. Also, the federal government and Edo State government have now set up a fact-finding committee on the Uromi killings that I think that happened about a week or two ago. So there seems to be a committee that's going to really look into it, because yes, whatever it is they were doing, whether right or wrong, that people need answers and proper answers. It's still, whatever way we want to look at it, it's still extrajudicial killing. It's not whether even a serial killer is charged to court.
It's a good thing. It goes beyond just what happened in Uromi. And for those of you who might not know, some people who are from the northern part of Nigeria were actually killed. They claimed, because there's a video out there, very gory. They claimed that they are hunters. But the people of that locale in Edo said they've been terrorized by kidnappers and bandits, and that has been going on for a while. So when they saw these people with guns and all sorts, one thing led to another, and they were mostly killed. I think maybe one or two of them might have survived, but the bulk of them were killed, somewhere within numbers 16 to 22, depending on which source that you are quoting. However, the governor of Edo stepped up and quickly nipped everything in the bud. Reprisals did not happen, and a whole lot of sentiments and things were aired, and this is still part of it, to show that it didn't just go to Kano to pay lip service to what they plan to do. Now they're setting up this. And what this does is that you might just be looking at a template for conflict resolution. You might be looking at a template so that if it ever happens again, there's a way to go about it. And again, it would be nice to get to the bottom of things, because on the one hand, the people of Edo State are still saying, especially the Uromi actors and people in Ishan land and other places, they're saying that life is not so safe, that security is terrible. So
that's another thing to look into quickly. And also, I think it's interesting that, like you said, it's not something that it looks like they're paying lip service to. However, I wanted to move on from that, and then let's go to River State, because there are quite a number of things happening in River State. I think we should start from the NBA, that the Nigerian Bar Association, who had announced or put out a press release, a proper press release, like 2-page long, explaining. So apparently the NBA conference this year was supposed to be at River State, was supposed to hold in River State. And they are now saying that they're moving into Enugu State because they're saying they moved it because of the emergency rule in River State, and this is supposed to be sort of like a protest to the federal government and all that. And I have a few questions to ask. And these are genuine questions, yeah. So please, I would like a bit of enlightenment.
Who are you asking?
You.
Do I work?
I don't know.
Am I a member of the NBA?
I'm just asking. These are just general questions. Trust me.
When you now say they are genuine, like I'm like, okay.
They're just regular questions.
Were you asking fake questions before?
No. Trust me. Anybody could answer them. So, like I said, number one, is the NBA attached or related or affiliated to any federal or state government that we do not know? That's one. Two, the NBA conference. What part of the agency or ministry or department in the federal government or state government do their conference affect? Like maybe they release communiques and they release stuff that according to the Constitution they have to follow. Now, talking about the Constitution, how does the NBA conference not happening in River State affect the Constitution, affect the federal government, or affect the River State government or any other government in any way? I think I would stop here for now. Thanks.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Those are my questions.
Oh, those questions are for me.
Yes, we're just in the studio.
What are the questions again?
Are you serious right now?
Me, I zoned out because I told you I'm on the. But it
Okay,
looks like
I'll
you
go
actually
back.
want to. So let's move on to the next one.
No, we're not moving on.
Okay, bye.
We're not moving on.
All right.
So, again, I ask, is the NBA affiliated to, and I will ask one by one, is the NBA affiliated to any government parastatal, ministry, department,
I don't think they
or
are.
agency
They're supposed
in
to
the
be.
federal government? Do you?
No, they're supposed
They're
to
not.
be some kind of non-for-profit organization, a professional body.
Okay. 2, what part of the NBA conference affects the Nigerian constitution? Like, is it in the constitution that it has to happen in a particular place, for example? Or what happens in that NBA conference that affects the federal government, the state government of Rivers State, or anybody at all in the grand scheme of things?
Well, we don't know. We don't know. As a professional body, there are also some kind of pressure group, and you don't know if any of their communiques could lead to some kind of movement or things like that. But constitutionally, I don't think that there's anything there.
Okay,
In
so
fact, the funny thing is that traditionally, they're still going to have to invite the president and the presidency and whatever, and whoever he sends or he goes by himself and all of that. I remember a few years ago when they were at loggerheads with Buhari, but he still went there. There's a part where Buhari's government was telling the NBA about how security is even more important than some parts of the constitution that they were quoting. And it was there, and nothing happened. Did they go to court? Did they go to the Supreme Court? Did they go to the Assembly? You understand? So
if that is the case, why are they making it a thing like as if the NBA conference does not hold in Rivers State, the world is going to go to an end?
Enugu is a part of Nigeria, so it's all good in the hood.
Like, okay, so I saw it, and quite a number of people are going on, oh, that's good. I'm like, okay, I'm not saying it's a bad move. I'm saying, what does it do in the grand scheme of things? In fact, a few people have allegedly had said that this is just an excuse because these conferences traditionally are funded by the state government.
Well, so some lawyers will disagree with you. They will tell you that they also pay for their conference, they pay conference dues and all of that. And, without checking their books, maybe that's enough to run the conference.
And that's what I'm saying. So that some people have alleged.
Yeah.
And so since...
And some people will disagree with
and
that.
so since...
However,
they don't have a governor anymore.
However,
in Rivers State.
Yes.
And it's a sole administrator. And let's be honest ourselves. The man is a retired soldier. I don't think the man has time for NBA or recognizes the NBA.
Without even being a retired soldier, someone is there for 6 months, in quote, openly.
Ain't got your time. Ain't got no time.
How is he going to defend the fact that he's spending any amount of River State funds on that? On the flip side, a duly elected governor would have his ways around these things. There are ways around it. Ways and means.
Ways and means.
But some view it as some kind of victory for, the fight against the government of the day and some of its policies.
So has that reinstated
I know
Governor Fubara? That's because
it's a step towards the reinstatement.
It is.
It's a step.
Please enlighten me.
In fact, you see, NBA,
I like to be enlightened.
NBA, as much as they say that everybody deserves the right to be defended in court, shouldn't they withdraw their services from the other side that they are not happy with? Okay, we don't like what this government is doing. Now the Attorney General, who is also a lawyer, and all the lawyers who are working on these cases should withdraw their services forthwith. They can't.
Okay, so
Because the law will not allow
my
them
questions. My questions are still continuing. Sorry,
you still have questions?
I have a few questions.
I thought we was done with them questions.
No, we're not done. We're not done.
Here we go.
So now listen, you cannot tell me that you didn't hear this time.
I'm listening this time.
Okay.
I'm listening.
So another set of questions, like you had started with, when the case was ongoing in the courts, or before the cases were in courts, as we now know, is not alleged anymore or allegations. At least the Supreme Court has pointed out all the illegalities of suspended Governor Fubara. Yeah?
Yeah, it's in black and white.
Yeah. Where was the Nigeria Bar Association? Because if I am very correct, some of its members were the ones that advocated for this illegality in the State High Court, Federal High Court, Appeal Court, and then the Supreme Court. Should we mention some names? Prominent names.
No need to mention names.
Prominent names.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Where was the NBA? Shouldn't they have called their members to order? I think that's the only place that they probably had power. They didn't have powers to maybe speak against the governor, which now apparently they seem to have powers to speak against the president. But where was their voice when the governor? Because if they at the moment, or when the emergency rule started, what everybody seems to be quoting is the Constitution. Where was the Constitution then when Governor Fubara was destroying the House of Assembly, where he was sending or defending 2 different budgets in 2 different years to a house of 4 and then 3 people? Where was this same Constitution, or where was the NBA when Governor Fubara, withheld salaries of over 16 months of duly elected people?
Some of those things that you're talking about, you see, because it's in court, the NBA cannot comment on it.
Okay, so after the Supreme Court had done, because if I am very correct, after the Supreme Court, there's still about a week or 2 after, before the emergency rule came into play. Where was the voice of the NBA then?
My own
The least they could have done was call their lawyers to order and say that this thing is illegality, so we do not want you to advocate or defend the governor in this matter.
You know, the legal
It's
profession.
really hypocrisy.
The legal profession.
Everybody demands.
Is a very interesting one.
Because
no matter how much facts you think you have, no matter how much of an open and short case you think something is, there will be one lawyer on the other side.
Everybody deserves to be defended, yeah?
So that's why, at times you wonder how lawyers do it. But on the flip side, just based on some of the things that you talked about, I know, why is it not possible that as a professional body that is in charge of legal matters in Nigeria, that you actually put the Constitution first?
Yeah.
So that it doesn't matter if it's the federal government that is doing wrong, and it doesn't matter if it's the state government or anybody. You should be able to actually say, okay, in this matter, based on the Constitution, federal government did this wrong and the state did that wrong. But I think that
they just lost their voice.
Everybody seems to believe, or maybe there's a memo that has been passed that some of us didn't get, that everything a government of the day does is bad. There's this thing about it, like every activist has to go against you. Look, it doesn't matter, even if it's Jesus Christ that they make president of Nigeria.
Even Jesus Christ, they didn't like Jesus Christ. Now, who are you?
No, I'm just saying that it doesn't matter. That if with his holiness and everything,
that's what I'm saying now.
You will still come for him and say, because it's once someone is in government, a lot of people feel that, and that's why I'm saying that if you really care about your country, you should be able to know.
Let the Constitution guide us.
What guides you,
yes,
and what you put first. And because I see a lot of people say a lot of things, and I actually start questioning myself, like, but constitutionally this is right. But everybody's going, oh wow, this.
So are we? That's it for me. Like, okay, and I'm not saying, and I'm not even holding brief for the federal government. I'm not saying that what the president did was right. I'm saying that, and it's something I've been saying for a while. Everything that led up to this point, according to the Supreme Court, they were all illegalities, on different levels. Yeah, where were you people then? Is it that you people did not read the Constitution then, or you just woke up from your slumber? I think that the height of hypocrisy that is displayed within a lot of associations, and I actually want to believe the fact that it's about funding, because they're just looking for another excuse.
Well, opinions are opinions.
Because seriously, and then the fact that a lot of people are going on about, you are trying to whitewash yourself.
So just for academic purposes, for educational purposes
oh,
now.
Wow.
You know, just say that.
Just say that.
That the administrator said, no, you can't move it from here. It's already been budgeted for. You have to come. We really want you.
No. They're protesting against the administrator, so they can't speak to him. You know.
Wait now. And now say, we used to move it to Enugu. It's a question, though.
Yeah, we get.
I'm not alleging, no.
See,
I'm just
I'm asking
a question.
Some people are asking very mischievous
for instance, now,
questions.
All the oil companies in Rivers, they said, nope. We've been expecting you guys to come to Rivers, and we want you to have a great conference. So we're footing the entire bill. We used to go to Enugu.
So I have another question.
It's a question, no.
So I'm guessing they're not going to invite the president here this year.
Because
they're protesting against him.
Persona non grata.
No, they're protesting against him.
Now that makes him persona non grata.
They're not going to invite him. What's that going to do for the president? It's going to make him stop being president.
Well, maybe less than a day, 1 day less.
Okay. Interesting. I just wanted to
look. Professional bodies can play politics. They always do anyway. They did it. The same NBA. We saw what you guys did now. The last election cycle. Remember? Yeah. But let's leave that for now.
Okay. So I have another question. Sorry for the question.
But I was about to say before she throws me off track that professional bodies should be reminded that no matter how partisan you are, when it comes to professionalism, you should let it be paramount. You know, you should not bring your politics into your body, because honestly, you guys know what we're saying. But
you know, the funny thing is that I'm not even looking at it from the angle
I have looked at it
of professionalism. I'm looking at it from, who are you in the grand scheme of things? If you weigh you people should be able to weigh themselves and say, you know what, this is our action. What is it going to do in the grand scheme of things? Anyway, back again to my question. You wanted to make me forget. So, like the Attorney General of the Federation, I remember when the Supreme Court judgment came out and he actually explained and did a lot of things, obviously, and when the president also announced the emergency rule, and he came out with the press conference and he explained, and he was like, I remember his statement where any other person that tries, basically just rephrase it, you see anyhow, you do anyhow, you see anyhow, but the man is a lawyer, Abi. He's an SAN. So even if they're not going to invite the president, they can't stop him from coming.
That's if he wants to go.
No, I'm just saying. So, but they can't stop him. He is a lawyer.
If he paid his dues.
Yeah.
And he paid the conference fees.
Another person that they seem to be protesting against, other than the federal government, which the Attorney General is part of, is the Minister of FCT.
But did they say anything like that?
Oh yeah, it's in the letter. Part of it is the protest is.
Okay, so what did they say about him?
No. At the federal government, I'm just saying, like.
But what did they say about him specific?
No, they did. No, I'm just saying that the basic protest is against the federal government.
Yeah, but you said another person that the NBA.
He's part of the federal government.
In their letter.
No, they didn't mention. I'm not sure they mentioned him directly, but he's part of the federal government, and we know that he's part of all this drama, yeah? Is the former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, who also is a lawyer.
Apparently.
Is even a member of the body of benchers. So, I didn't go to not invite him to all. He doesn't need that invitation.
Does he really go to those things?
I'm just asking. So
let's not get too
if they,
away.
I'm not.
Have you really heard that Wiki attends those things?
No, I'm just saying. But at this point in time, if he goes, nobody's going to stop him.
If he has paid his dues,
yeah,
and if he has paid his conference fees, yeah, nobody will stop him.
Okay. Just
I don't know where you're going with this, though.
I don't. I'm looking at it.
You don't know where you're going.
No. I'm looking at it from the angle of the NBA and how they're supposed to be protesting against the federal government, and there are quite a number of people in the federal government that are part of this your association, and you can't stop them from coming.
But even the ones that they didn't like, maybe like a Buhari that they had issues with, he still went. Now, do you understand? I don't think people being there is the thing. Do you understand? I don't think people going is a big deal. Anybody can be invited. Anybody. In fact, a smart MBA ESCO will invite all the people that they don't even like to. That's the way to go about it. That's why I'm saying that beyond your personal politics, you should be able to stay professional. Look at the greater good. Look at what it means for your body. As an organization. Here we go.
Okay, so still sticking with River State because there are quite a number of things we're talking about in River State. First things first, there was news that popped up yesterday about the sole administrator announcing 10,000 jobs in the state. Apparently, they have come to debunk that story and say that it's not true.
Yeah, funny thing is, a lot of APC people were going to town about it. Oh, you better go and apply 10,000 jobs regardless of which party you belong to and all of that. And I'm like, okay, well, if he has the capacity to do it, it's for the greater good.
Yeah, but apparently they have come to debunk that story. But before we leave River State, apparently there's a protest today where women are actually demanding for the reinstatement of the suspended governor and the end of emergency rule in the state.
Well within their rights. It's something that is actually expected. You wonder how something goes wrong or goes a certain way and everybody's quiet. Then you start to wonder, like, okay, was this bound to be like this? The truth is that the only way this might be reversed now is the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. If the Supreme Court that the PDP, 11 PDP governors have taken the case to, they've actually done that officially. If they now get a judgment, that's the only way this. I don't see how this thing ends before that time. Because even the president has already signed a document, and you're talking 6 months. If he even reverses himself, it would show.
It will look funny.
Yeah, exactly. And I doubt if he even can. So it's good that people are protesting. The same way they said women are protested about, the emergency rule and the suspension of the governor. Don't be shocked tomorrow when another group of women protest.
My issue
and guess what? It is well within their rights. Look, let's not get it twisted. Let's leave all the hocus pocus and the razzmatazz. Fubara now has a lot of people supporting him. Mm-hmm. He's been governor for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Nyesom Wike was governor for 8 years. He has a large number of people also supporting him. Mm-hmm. So at times, you see, people's support is not based on the truth. It's just based on sentiment. Say, this now our guy. Anything we talk or waiting we feel say go make her happy now we want to do.
I think I agree with you, which is why I would say that I was about to say that protests, especially in Nigeria, a lot in the last couple of years, I've come to realize that most of the time they're not really they're more sentimental. Let me put it like that. They're more sentimental than really about the issues on ground. But the issue at the end of the day is that it's not against the law to protest, whatever the intentions are. So, everybody wants to protest, please go ahead. It's okay. And now let's move on from that, and we're still going back to the courts, as the courts are now struck out Nnamdi Kanu's fundamental rights suit against the federal government.
This is one of the things that he was hoping he would use, to get out of lockup. And, everybody's that's followed the case, especially people who support Nnamdi Kanu, have been like expecting this to happen. Like, okay, because, you see a certain attitude about it, like, oh, his rights were breached and this and that and that. The federal government is saying, look, the guy jumped bail, shouldn't have jumped bail, this and that and that and that. Oh, he was rendered illegally. Why did they get him into this country one way or the other and all of that? But at the end of the day, this judgment puts paid to that is angle. Now, I didn't follow, but it looks like it's the High Court.
So, yes.
So
the federal
why
High
I said
Court
that is that he can still appeal.
Now, let me explain to you what happened in court and why the case was thrown out for lack of diligent prosecution. Why? They said the judge has been in court 3 different times. The federal government had come to court twice. But those 3 different times, there's been no lawyer or representation for Nnamdi Kanu. You brought a case to court and there's no lawyer representing you. And the judge had come 3 times. But at this particular hearing, which was the 3rd time the judge was in court, they had been adjourning the case. There was not a lawyer for Nnamdi Kanu or the federal government present in court, and it said that this case had been adjourned 3 times due to lack of representation. And so the court ruled that the suit to be dismissed, as seems the person that brought the federal government to court is not a serious individual.
No matter what the case looks like, it looks like one of the important ones. I'm shocked that they didn't put up an appearance in court. I still see that they might probably still appeal this regardless.
Why I don't think so, and why this is just me or a few things that
the reason why I said that is that someone like him, if you follow Nnamdi Kanu's case, he has done a lot to have judges recuse themselves. Mm-hmm. At some point, it's like he's representing himself.
Yeah.
And all of this. And you know what I see? I'm saying this, for whatever reason, looks like someone who doesn't want judgment.
I agree with you.
And that's why I'm saying
and
that to extend that, there will always be one technical thing like, oh, our case was struck out for this. We can't have it struck out. Can you reopen the case based on this, that? Now we have a team in place, blah, blah. I'm just saying because all I'm seeing here is a lot of rigmarole.
Yeah, so why I said that it might not look like something that might go to the appeal court is because once you leave the high court, it is in this lower court that you defend yourself and you bring out evidence. Once a case gets to appeal court and the Supreme Court, it is the evidence that you bring that is then, or your defense or whatever, that is then looked through again. But there's nothing to look at.
That's why I said that appeal is, we now have it. Did you hear the part where I said we now have a team, we want to push the case, blah, 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 we want it reopened? Yeah, I said that a few minutes ago. What I'm saying is that, to me, it's all looking like some kind of delay tactics for what I don't know. And why? Well, maybe there's an end game there, but there's no sense in instituting a case and 3 times the case was called, 3 times you didn't show up.
You didn't show up. It does not make any sense. And then before we leave the issues of the court, Ecowas Court has now declared that there is a blasphemy law in Kano State that violates human rights.
I don't understand the Ecowas Court. That's the truth. Like, I don't get that court. Like, has anybody ever taken that court serious? I'm not saying there shouldn't be, but I'm saying, do people take them serious? And if you ask me, I'll tell you why. My good friend Agba Jalingo got a judgment. Government is supposed to pay him some money because he was illegally locked up. And I said, at least the court in Ecowas said that they should pay him compensation. And we his friends that were campaigning for his release, we're waiting for that payment so that we're not waiting for settlement. Oh no, God forbid. How can you be saying because your friend was locked up, then government now paid? But we're just saying that we want him to get his money.
Yeah. Anyway,
ECOWAS said they should pay him almost 2 years now. Nigerian government have they paid? So now they are now saying one law is blasphemy, is not clinical. Will the court in Kano or the court in Nigeria accept what the ECOWAS court has said?
So my question is, before this matter even got to ECOWAS, isn't there something like the Nigerian court? Because last I checked, any court or penal code or anything that contradicts the Nigerian constitution becomes null and void.
Yeah, it's invalid.
Yeah, why let it get to ECOWAS if there, because now ECOWAS is saying that it's even against Nigerian laws.
It is against Nigerian laws, according to ECOWAS. It looks like it's against the constitution. But these are the naughty issues when it comes to the, legal system in Nigeria. And we have our way of sweeping things under the carpet.
Until it becomes
then when it's so bulky, it becomes a molehill, not a mountain.
It becomes huge.
Everybody starts to trip over it and fall and hit their heads on the floor.
They will not be going to courts. That's where the Supreme Court. I remember.
I don't have a problem with the Ecowas Court. I'm just saying that, do they even take those judgments serious? Because they are owing Agba Jalingo money. So you were saying something about blasphemy.
How did we get to that point?
I don't know. We're talking about blasphemy.
How did we get to Agba Jalingo?
It's the only person I know personally that got a judgment from.
That's my point. Like, how did we? You were talking about.
Ecowas Court said, pay this guy compensation. They have not paid.
I thought we had moved on from that.
Why are we moving on from money?
Oh my God. Anyway, basically, let's move on from the courts. And there are quite a number of things I was going to talk about. But there is one that I cannot just get my mind off. I will go and I will come back to the rest of Nigerian stories. China is saying, you go low, we go lower. They're not smiling. After the announcement of, I think, 84 or 85% tariff on U.S. goods, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, I know the U.S. had put a 101% on goods coming from China. China today announced fresh countermeasures saying that starting from tomorrow, there's going to be a 125% tariff on goods from the United States.
Pam, 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 pam.
Before the end of the month, we probably will see 500%.
Pam. You know what that sound means now?
What?
Pam, 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 pam.
What is that?
When trouble sleep, Yanga go wake am. Now wait, he defined palava. He defined a country that has more people than continents, that has the purchasing power, the manufacturing finesse, and everything in place. A country that has existed on its own without anybody's help. A country that looks at everything you do there and say, we don't want it, we'll do our own. Did you see their WeChat video? In China now, WeChat, you think it's about WhatsApp. You can pay. You pay money. A guy went into a store, bought water. He didn't have a wallet or anything on him. Then he went to the counter, scanned the can of water, and put his arm over the WeChat thing, and he paid. In China, he paid. He used his palm to pay. That's his WeChat ID in China. China is miles ahead of everybody's daddy. They don't need you. They don't need me. But guess what? They still keep doing things for us. Temu, Ali Pay, Ali Baba this, Ali. You don't understand what we're saying here. Dear America, we love you.
No, we don't.
We do, actually. We do. And she does too. We all do. We do. But
let's rearrange this matter.
Tariff, it's not working.
It's not working.
Wait.
Do you know that they also asked the central bank to reduce the amount of dollar that they're purchasing from them? Now, as of today, dollar is crashing.
It's not only that. China has gold deposits. Let's see. You see, you are very passionate about this. No, you don't understand. Dear America, please be careful. Beg DJT to calm down at this point. The tariff war, it's not going to all go well.
It's not looking good.
And the sad part is when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. You see, the Chinese will not feel nothing.
I don't think the Chinese people will.
How many things are they importing?
Yeah.
How many
things are you producing in their country?
Man, them are making everything for everybody.
You're making everything for everybody, yeah. They're making your phones, they're making your clothes, they're gonna kick everybody out.
I know people don't want to hear this, but America, I think you're getting this wrong. My opinion. Worst case, we've got to renew sign for a lot of joy. I'm just saying. The way China is moving. The way China is moving.
I just could not hold my.
They are. Look. Okay. Dolupo, about 3 decades ago, as a young man in Nigeria, China made meant fake.
Meant what?
Fake. It meant fake.
Oh, yeah. China phones.
30 years ago, when they say, this is China, everybody say, now,
everything is made in China.
China is everything.
Your iPhones, your Androids, your best Androids, your clothes, your shoes.
I remember when we were trying to order some equipment from America, and a friend in America told me, why don't you buy from China direct? I'm looking like, I beg me, I don't want to allow. They will now go and sell fake. The guy looked at me and laughed.
Well,
okay, go ahead. Is it not the same thing that we are buying from all those online shops in America that are being sourced? They now started calling it drop shipping. Please don't vex China. The beauty of this is that China will be looking at other partners. Yeah. China will be looking at other countries that are not willing to fight them. Mm-hmm. You get? But y'all need to chill. Because this is actually this is war.
That was
and we don't want it.
To I think Russia that is was kind of telling US you're not going to win this war with China.
No, did you see a tweet? And that I looked at the handle. It's a Russian one of the Russian embassies, maybe the Kenyan one or something, the Russian embassy or somewhere. And I look, he actually had one of those gray verified markers on Twitter, not the blue or red one, the gray ones. And there's this very popular meme of some guy on one high fence smoking and lying down on his side while there's people fighting on the floor and everything. And it's looking like China, it's looking like Russia saying, all of them are fighting. Our hand, no deal. No. And there's a flag of China somewhere, there's a flag of US somewhere, and Russia is like, we're not interested in this fight. Honestly, we don't need this tariff wars. This is not how to get a trade balance. A trade imbalance is negotiated. And it's happened before in the past where America had meetings with China to say, look, you guys are not buying enough from us, we're buying from you. And China goes, don't worry, we'll buy more of your cars, we'll buy this and we'll buy that. Yeah. Just keep buying things for us and we'll keep buying from you. And that's the way it should be.
That's how it should be, yeah.
But tariffs like this, arbitrary tariff, it never worked before. And it never fixed any trade imbalance. Never.
Okay. Just wanted to put that out there. Let's go back to our original gist. Now, part of our original gist is that thankfully the Nigeria police have rescued 17 kidnapped victims and rescued 21 rifles in Kaduna State.
Kudos to the security forces in Nigeria. keep doing this.
Now, interesting news that I saw earlier in the day was where there was an abducted pastor in the same Kaduna that was released by kidnappers, and they now detained the person that carried the ransom.
Yeah. May we not be in those situations in Jesus' name,
It's
because
just,
the person that went to rescue him was detained in his place,
it's
and they would have
sad.
taken the money, and that person will now have to be bailed also, or ransomed.
That just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, let's come down to Lagos State. Interesting news. Yesterday it was announced Governor Sanwo-Olu has gifted Lagos State University best graduating students, I think the name is Inwosu, 10 million naira.
You know what I think about those things? I think it should be institutionalized.
Yeah.
I like the idea that the best graduating student is getting cash, that kind of money.
Why I was like, oh, okay, so finally getting sensible money. So let me take for example, University of Ibadan. It's literally in the constitution of UI that there's certain monies. However, like the Nigerian constitution, is so old.
They need to update it now.
That some are getting like 100 naira.
And that's why I
all
said
those
it should be
things.
institutionalized.
So
with
the fact that
the
we're now
caveat-
like we're moved with the times. Looks like Lagos
Look-
University has moved with the times.
Look at what has happened with Nigeria's minimum wage. Now that it's 70,000 naira, there is a caveat. There's a law that says it will be reviewed every 2 years
couple
or
of
every,
years, yeah.
as against when they just increase it, and 10 years after, people are like, no, you can't keep paying us what you were paying us 10 years ago. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So let them make it like standard that, every best graduating student from LASU for the next 3 years gets 10 million naira.
Yeah, shout out to this set of twins in University of Ibadan, actually. I think it was Faculty of Tech. They were the best graduating students, the twins, and they had the same CGPA out. That's so fantastic. I'm like, I can imagine how their parents will feel. Anyway, still talking about Lagos. The Lagos State is set up temporary pumping stations at the Lagos Island to ease storm water buildup.
I mentioned it yesterday when we were having the program.
And before we leave that matter, Lagos has now sealed 13 markets. Basically, there are quite a number of markets around the K2 Mile 12 axis. All the 13 markets are around. So every single market you think that is available between K2 and Mile 12 has now been shut.
Especially
for illegal waste disposal.
That fruit market.
The fruit market, every market.
And there's
Mile
something that
12,
Lagos started
the
there.
The shops outside, the ones inside, everywhere.
There's something that started there where they're actually using the waste, as biogas and everything. And it's something that I was hoping that they would replicate in all the markets across Lagos and eventually
I honestly think
Nigeria.
our markets are really, really dirty.
Yeah.
Really. And it's funny how people seem to be okay.
That's
with
why
those
if you
environments.
ever make your way to the fresh food hub in Mushin that is operated by Lagos State, it's a market.
It's
But
such a
it's
fantastic.
neat, and you're wondering like, wow, so it's possible to actually
yeah.
be in a market and be comfortable.
So maybe it's time to.
And that's what we should be striving
Maybe
for.
it's time to. How do I say it now? Completely eliminate those open market systems.
Yeah, and basically upgrade all the markets, but also put in place, a system that allows for proper waste collection, and also using the waste as biogas and all of that. Biofuel.
Anyway, an Abuja-based journalist is set to embark on a 72-hour marathon interview. Has said that he's doing that for press freedom.
I love the idea of a 72-hour marathon interview. It's something that, of course, you'll be allowed a few breaks in between and all of that. Those of us who work in the media, some of us have been forced to work extra hours, like not 72 though, but there have bent times when you've done beyond your 6-hour shift. You've done 12 or 14 hours and everything in the past. And I just love it. What I don't understand is your talk about press freedom and everything. To be honest with you, I don't think that the media has that kind of problem in Nigeria at the moment. But
I think that one person that would disagree with you is SERAP, as the Socio-Economic Accountability Project, Research and Accountability Project, who they have now given the federal government and the Nigeria Broadcast Commission A 48-hour ultimatum to reverse Eedris Abdulkareem's song ban. So apparently, you remember this song
It's
that
on our headline, NBC bans song.
The end is the song that Eedris Abdulkareem sang and was said to, I see, talk to your papa or something.
Tell your papa, Sheyi, it's addressed to the president through his son.
So I saw a write-up that even Eedris Abdulkareem had put out, and the NBC had banned it, saying that it could cause political unrest and something funny like that. And SERAP has now given a 48-hour ultimatum. However, Amnesty International is saying that the ban on Eedris's song is unconstitutional.
Okay. Dixie Chicks in America, when they sang songs that were banned, and other people that had songs that were banned, Two Live Crew sang songs that were banned. There's a band. They even had a song about their song being banned. What did you do then? Amnesty this international on international. It's only Nigerian thing now. You're not going to flex meso. Let's talk about the song and SERAP and all of that. Mm-hmm. I'm not the Nigerian government though. I personally don't do well with threats. 48 hours or what? What did I go do? Or what will you do? You will now go to court. There is constitutional powers that allows them to ban that song because, of course, the song has gone against.
I was even going to say that.
However,
NBC is allowed to ban any song for whatever reason.
However, from experience, banned songs do well.
Apparently,
that's it. That's the funny thing about songs, about the music industry. A song gets banned and it does well.
You know, the funny thing is that I'm not even sure this
one of the reasons why is it now makes people curious, like, is it that bad that they banned it? And people start. Now, the beauty of it for Eedris is that now there are streaming platforms that pay you for views and they pay you for rotation. And number of times people have downloaded or listened to your song. They can't ban that part. So, and they can't ban that. So shout out to Eedris. You're going to really get another hit song. Eedris, let me ask you something.
He will?
He will. The way things are going, he will. Let me just ask you. If you sing problem, if you sing your entire life now, make something happen, make you say everywhere scattered and whatever. Two, the song itself, I write poems and everything, and there has to be a rhyming scheme in song. This song doesn't have a rhyming scheme, and I'm wondering why. I like this. You are doing too much. No, I like the song. I like the song that it's a conscious song and it's singing about situations and everything. It's mentioned Akpabio and Natasha, talked about kidnapping, which is a big problem in Nigeria. I will come with my own honest review. I don't need to agree with everything. I don't need to disagree with everything. I saw Very Dark Black Man's video saying that he wants to feature in another video of that song and he's going to sponsor it and he wants to dance and he's going to call out the president, blah, blah, blah. And he went on about it and all of that. And that he's going to tell that he has millions of followers and he's going to tell all of them to go and push the song and all of that. That they don't even, that who watches TV or listens to radio, the guy basically discredited what radio and TV stands for because they're social media. That's fine. We'll come back to that later. And I said, this would be nice because Eedris actually needs it. He needs it and all of that. And no artist wants to drop a song that does not sell, regardless of the content. What I'm also going to talk about is that the Broadcast Commission only flexes its muscles when something is loud or when they feel it's going to be big. They are, by my estimate, based on the experience I have in broadcast, they are at least within this time last year and now over 100 songs that should have been banned. And they are not necessarily songs that are causing your president or our president, but there are songs that are explicit, yeah. They have lewd lyrics and they go against everything that the NBC preaches. But they're not saying anything.
No, they are busy.
Doing what? We don't know. And SERAP, back to SERAP.
What do you want to do?
Y'all keep talking about, so what's 48 hours, which it will lapse by Sunday. What's going to happen? You would enter every radio station forcefully and play the songs.
Is the ultimatum for me, like, seriously.
I don't do well with threats, and I also, that's one of the things that very dark man did when he was threatening PK. Then the next day you ended up going to NAPTIP, and I'm like, okay.
I think I saw a video that he made after, and
he's still cursing people out.
And then he was,
and he says he's coming for her. He's going to deal with.
She was laughing about the matter and everything, and that
she said she was laughing at his ignorance,
and that people showed that why would she be laughing at the issue that if NAPTIP, if he had already spoken to those other people, and those people said they had already spoken to NAPTIP before, and they did not. At that point, shouldn't he be NAPTIP? He should be calling out.
No, he went to take pictures with them the next day.
And
he still has a problem with Abike Dabiri.
Oh, Lord. Anyway.
I think people just think that if you go against government,
they're just going to...
And that's the funny thing. Just like us now, we are balanced, so we're a problem. But the day you decide, say, this government is this... but trust me.
Anyway,
on the side of truth, I beg.
Anyway, quickly before we go, the UK has approved a landmark breast cancer drug. This says that this drug is supposed to help reduce the spread of breast cancer.
Amen.
Quickly before we go, Mohamed Salah has actually signed a new contract.
Finally, it's about to go down.
English FA has now said that transgender women can continue to play football. In women's football, obviously, they would not, as it was not, cannot be men's football. But anyway, they say that they will continue, but they have new FA rules that there has to be a level of testosterone. They have to keep testing them, and that there has to be particular officials in the games where those people are, and the game can stop at any time if they feel that the person is a danger to the women. I'm like, isn't this too much stress? Just because you want to be politically correct.
Pass for me.
Anyway, also, Bruno Fernandes has now broken Mata's Europa League assist record in the Lyon-Manchester United game. And this one, I picked it specifically because what everybody wants to hear is about the mistakes of Onana.
Yeah. United were coasting home yesterday, 2-1 away on the road. They played 3 games in France, never won, always played a draw. Onana gets a one-on-one, pushes the ball back, and someone scores him. But his coach and his teammates are standing for him and saying mistakes happen.
Mistakes really do happen. And then, finally, Arsenal's Declan Rice has won the UCL Player of the Week.
My guy.
I think...
Odimo, Declan Rice.
I think after those...
how do you score?
Those free kicks. Look, I don't think anybody else. There's nothing else anybody else would have played. Even
if you don't like Arsenal, you don't like.
There's nothing else anybody else would have played.
If you don't like football, but you like football. You don't like English Premier. But a guy scores 2 free kicks back to back. Somebody said the first one was like Roberto Carlos, and the second one was like David Beckham, bended like Beck or whatever, or vice versa. Bottom line is that Declan Rice deserves all the accolades, every single one that he gets.
Yes, I think he's finally solved all the crimes that he has done.
He has paid that money, 100 million.
He has even paid it forward.
In fact, right now, Arsenal is owing Declan Rice.
Anyway, on that note, that is all we'll take today on the bar. Oh, quiet! Wait, hold on. Before we go,
please share our video.
Please share the video. That there's actually a bit of music. They're not a lot, but I think Loj released a song this weekend.
There's Kiss Daniel.
I didn't listen to that one.
There's Kiss Daniel with
I didn't look for it.
Angelique Kidjo and Johnny Drill.
I did not hear that, but I think I heard Rema. Rema's song is out. Loj, also Bella Shmurda also released songs today. What was the Kiss Daniel's one like?
Kiss Daniel. Angelique Kidjo. And who?
I can imagine.
And who? There's one more person.
Johnny Drill.
Exactly.
What do you expect? I saw that, but
what do you expect?
But I will definitely look for that. Apparently there's a Johnny Drill and Fireboy as well. There's Ricardo. I actually did not. You know the funny thing is that I saw that.
Look at you.
Oh wow! I did
look
not
at
see
you,
that.
Rema. Everybody is blazing.
Yeah, I listened to Rema's song as well. So yeah, there are quite a number of songs. Funny enough, I tell you that this was what I was getting out like. There are not so many songs. I did not.
And Lahore, the Lahore dance has made it to the NBA.
Really?
We'll be talking about that on Boom Sports.
Okay, on that note, we'll see you on Monday. Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend.
Peace.